Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the FEILUN Mini FX133 mini quadcopter, full unboxing, inspection, and setup, and also a flight test, all in the same review. And I will have the links for this guy down in the description, so don't forget to check that link down there so you can see a little bit more in depth on the pricing and the specs on this guy. Anyway, without further ado, let's just go ahead and start unboxing this guy. Opening up the top cover, and it looks like it's held in with a little bit of tie wrap here. So it's gonna need to have some scissors, undo the tie wrap, and there we go. So there's the quad. And taking off the top cover, let's just take a little closer look at the quad here real quick before we get more into it. So it's just a little nano. I would consider this a nano quad. Push on propellers there. Kind of a neat circular mid design. It's got some padded feet on the bottom here. There's some screws holding in the body. On-off switch on the bottom. There's our charge port. It's just one of those simple slide-in charge ports there. And that's basically all there is to it. Nothing special. We're definitely going to be seeing how this thing flies. Further digging into the box, there's our controller down there at the bottom. So let's pull this guy out. And it looks like that's everything except probably, yeah, so there's the charger and stuff down there in the bottom of the box. And the instructions. Okay, so everything in the box. We got our quadcopter, we got our controller, we have a charger and extra propellers, and our instruction manual. It's just showing us how to charge and what all the controls do here. Speaking of the instruction manual, let's just kind of go through the controls really quick before we go ahead and start flying this thing. So it looks like they're actually labeled pretty good. The controls are labeled good on here. We see we have the left guy here is speed mode. We can do flips. Of course, this is our pitch and our roll for going forward and side rolling. And this is our throttle and our yaw. So we can turn it. This will turn the quadcopter left and right, and that will give us our throttle. Auto orientation, land. Okay, so looks like it has an auto landing with this one here. Auto orientation looks like maybe that's going to be its headless mode. These on the right hand side, it looks like these are just going to be the trims for the craft. So if it's flying a little forward, go ahead and push this back, and same goes for left, right. And then you can also trim the yaw here on left and right. And that's really all there is to the controller. Yep, these thumbsticks don't click in. I do like the feel of it. It does have a good feeling, nice for large hands, you know, you can really grip onto it and it's got a good feeling to it. So as you can see, no screwdriver in the box, so you are going to need your own little screwdriver to undo the battery compartment here. There we go, and that pulls open, and it's taken 2 AA's there. And it looks like you won't really need to screw that screw back in, since it does clip nice and tight. You don't really need to put that screw back in there. So guys, let's go ahead and charge up the little FEILUN F133, give her a flight test in the house here, and see how it does, and do a little pros and cons. If we get some break in the wind, we'll go out and get some outside flight. But for now, let's just go ahead and fly it inside. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on with that little switch. Set her on down, turn on the controller, and let's see, up and down binds it, so we should be ready to go. And we immediately have throttle. This has no altitude hold, so it's just a manual throttle here. Before we lift off, let's go ahead and try to level the accelerometer. Usually on these little guys, you can just set them on like a level floor here. We want to bring both sticks down and out. And we can see that we have some blinking lights here, and that should have leveled the accelerometer. So be sure to do that if it is flying kind of erratically. Let's go ahead and lift off. Yeah, there we go. So it's pretty nice and stable here. I'm just controlling the throttle to make it kind of hover, and see if we can do it hands off. It does want to kind of go up and down, so I've got to, you know, kind of fluctuate the throttle. But there's kind of a hands off. So not bad at all. It is a pretty good stable flyer and no wind. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a punch test while we still have a full battery. So from a hover to full throttle up. Not bad. You know, for a little mini nano micro, whatever you want to call it. I'd probably categorize this in the nano size. Anyway, let's see what we can do. This is our first rate of speed. this doesn't have any video or anything at all, so we just are flying line of sight. So there is our yaw rate in rate 1. Let's see if we go ahead and press this speed button. There's rate 2 and rate 3. So we have 3 different rates, and they all look to get a little bit quicker. It's kind of hard to hover it while you're doing full yaw. Yeah, they all go a little faster in the yaw, so that's great. 3 rates. Let's try our pitch and our roll. So here's our pitch, full pitch, forward and back, and our roll is pretty much the same. We go in rate 2, get a little bit higher pitch and roll, so we can go a little quicker. Let's try a roll there. And rate 3, even higher, so we can go even quicker. So pretty good, very incremental rates, you know, not very much of a difference between the 3, but it does get, you know, quite a bit faster. Okay, this also has a flip button. I love how they label the buttons here. On the right hand top we have a flip. Let's just see if we press it once. I'm hearing constant beeping. It's waiting for input, pushing forward. Nice little tight flips. Really easy to do flips. Hitting that button, hearing the beep. There's a left little roll. So it's going to flip in every direction, and it really does tight little quick ones and keeps its altitude nicely. Yeah, very nice. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we can do. We've got auto landing, do we? Let's see. Let's try this. Whoa, it's going up. I'm not sure what that was all about. I went ahead and pressed land and it eliminated my throttle control, but it just kind of went up and shut off. Let's try that again. Okay, let's try that one more time with the land. I'm going to keep it hovering like right about here, and I'm going to press that again. So I press land. Okay, so make sure you're not on the throttle barely at all when you do press that land button. Say it's going up a little and I press land. Let's see what happens. You see how my throttle, okay, it's slowly reducing the throttle, and when it touches the ground it will land, and then you have to press it up again to take off again. So that does work. Just make sure your throttle's low, because if it's high it seems to just cut you out of control and then go up. So I wouldn't recommend really using that one. Looks like the only other thing we might be able to do on this is auto orientation, which should be like a headless mode. So let's try and press that button. It is labeled here. So I just pressed it once and it's completely skewed, it looks like. Let's try and turn this thing on. I think it may have got confused on which direction it was facing for power up. So let's try that one more time just to give it the benefit of the doubt and turn it on facing directly that way towards that couch. Turn the controller on. Launch. Spin it a little bit. Oops, I just pressed flip. Let's just do a flip. Get into rate 3, do a little bit more spinning. Now let's try that headless mode. So we'll go ahead and press the button. Let's see. Yeah, so it is working. Just make sure that you launch in the direction that is pointing away from you for it to work. So you see how whichever direction I'm facing, this is what auto orientation or headless mode means. It's got a bunch of different names. So if I'm yawing to one direction and I'm pressing forward, you see how it's always going away from me? I'm pressing back and it's always coming towards me. So that's called like headless orientation mode. It seems to be not bad with this one. It is getting a little bit skewed where I'm pushing forward and it's starting to go to that left corner over there, and I'm pulling back and it's starting to go to this right corner. So whenever possible, I would not really recommend using that with you know, any kind of toy quads. I'm seeing some blinking on the lights. Yeah, so it's starting to land, and it goes ahead and it just lands and shuts off right when it touches the ground. So it's got some kind of little landing sensor or something to detect when it is on the ground. But anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing to the park, and let's try to do a little range test. See how it is. Okay guys, so I'm at the park with a little FEILUN Nano, Micro Nano, Mini, whatever you want to call it. So we went through the unbox and the initial house review in the house, and I want to just fly it at the park. It's about 5-mile-per-hour winds coming from that direction here. They just mowed the grass today, so we have a nice park here with some grass shavings. But I just want to do kind of a quick flight, since we already did all the kind of the controls and the modes in the house. I just want to go ahead and fly it out, see what the range is like, and then just kind of quickly fly it around myself and just see how this thing flies outdoors. Bind it up, and it's ready to go. So I want to go into at least rate 2 right away. Go ahead and launch because of the wind. And let's go right into a range test. So it does seem like it's flying fine in this little bit of wind. I'm going to go into rate 3 and go out there and just see how far we can fly it. So this is already 100 feet. And there it was. So I was losing control at about 100 feet. Whoa, bird. Cool. Looks like he almost was trying to attack this thing. Okay, there we go. So I'm back in control. So you're going to get about 100 feet of range on this thing, whether it's above you or away from you. I was able to hold the controller up to regain connection, but you can't even really barely see it. It's like a little speck in the air. So I don't know why you'd want to go that far anyway. So anything over 50 with these little nanos is fine with me. So let's just quickly fly it around really quick and see how fast we can fly this thing. It does look like it's doing really good in the wind here. This is 5 miles per hour. Nice little breeze. Let's do a little bit of stunt flying here. Get around close. Some speed runs. Yeah, it goes pretty quick. Look at that. Let's go into the wind and see how fast it'll go. This is directly into the wind, and it's going quick. Whoa, let's not get too far or we'll get out of control. You see that? So I was still in control, even though it was over by those power lines and kind of far away. Wow, nice little quad here. You know, and I love these little ones that perform well with regular size controllers. This is almost a regular size. It's a little small, but there is no antenna on the outside of this controller too. But look at this, it's performing very well. Very simple little drone. There's no camera on it. Line of sight fly, and you're gonna have a great time. And that's about it for this drone. If you want to fly something small line of sight, it works great outside, works great indoors. No sugar coating here, it's just what it is. Whoop. So that was my fault. I went ahead and let off the throttle for a second. Relaunch. Good to go. Still in rate 3, I believe. Let's see what happens if we turn off the controller. I didn't do this in the house, I don't think. Let's just do it. Wind kind of picked up, coming from directly that direction. Turning off the controller now. 1, 2, 3. Slowly started to drop and shuts off the propellers. That's what we can expect for if you lose connection. It doesn't fall out of the sky. Rebound without turning off the craft, and we're up again. Let's go a little higher and turn off the controller. Turning off now. Still. Oh, that's good actually. A couple seconds it stays at the same height, 1 or 2 seconds, and then it slowly drops, but it drops at a pretty good rate where it's not going to break itself, but it's also not going to fly away. So I like that actually. Let's just use up this battery. I'll compile the flight time footage, the entire flight time. It's in the air, and I'll put that up on the screen at the end so you guys can see that. A couple flips while we're at it. Little roll.
Let's do a backflip. This one flips really good. Close-up shot. Sorry about that sun. It's in the evening. I like to come in the evening sometimes to this park because it's nice and cool. The wind does kind of come up in the evening while the sun's out and then drops down to nothing when the sun goes down, but it's so hot right now in the midday. It's hard to even stay out. We're doing good. I'm not seeing any flashing lights yet. This might be a pretty long flight. Look at this. Having a great time with this one. These guys riding their dirt bikes at the park, chewing up this grass for us. It's too bad. Kids will be kids, I guess. Can't complain too much. I'm flying quadcopters at the park. All right, so still going strong. And that is a loud bike. Sorry about that motorcycle noise, guys. Anyway, still flying. Still flying. Wow, I was in rate 1? What? Okay, those last 2 times I went ahead and turned it on after it dropped. Those last 2 times I was in rate 1 and it was able to handle this wind. I was wondering why I was going a little slow. So this is rate 3. Whew. Wow, when is this thing gonna die? What the heck? This is the second charge. Still flying. There we go. Okay, getting weak. Getting a little weaker. There, now it's dropping. So I had full throttle up and it dropped. Cool, guys. So that takes it. That's it for the little FEILUN Nano. What a great little flight. I really like this thing. You know, it's nice and compact. It has a kind of a neat shape. Orange, so you won't really lose it. Orange on the bottom and the top. So if you lose it in the grass here, it's easy to find because it's orange. Did I power that off? Yes. Okay. All right, cool. Let's run through a little pros and cons on the little guy here. It's got flips that work great. It's got 3 speeds of flight that work perfectly. It's got a land and a takeoff function, and also a headless mode that, if I remember correctly in the house, it might have been a little bit skewed, but that you can't expect those to work perfectly on these little toy quads. Those are always a little bit skewed, so don't use return to home in headless mode if you can help it. Otherwise, very simple, very fun. I hope you guys liked that review. Don't forget to check the link in the description for this guy. One of the more fun little nanos I've flown recently, and it can handle outside and a little bit of wind perfectly fine. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. Check out my channel, check out my reviews, subscribe if you can. You won't be disappointed. Do a lot of reviews like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.